Okay. Okay. Okay, got a little show. Okay. Wow, gosh, sorry guys, moved you all around the place. Okay, let's see. Okay, stay. Okay. So let's discuss the colors we're going to use today. I'm kind of doing this off the cuff because I do it a little differently every time, but I've got at hand ultramarine blue. I've got some cadmium red hue. I've got burnt sienna, which is also a good red color. Let's see. Yeah, burnt umber, some white, and some black. So you'll see I'm using all different kinds. I mean, that's normal for me. And Winsor & Newton is another brand. I also use craft paints. I mean, let's see. I was painting yesterday and I used Deco Art Americana. And I also use the Crafters Collection, which is like 49 cents at Hobby Lobby. I mean, that's all great for paint parties and just for painting in general. I really enjoy them. I'm not a paint snob or don't have any particular, brand I really am loyal to. I just kind of like what I like when I like it. So let's do the background first. Let me see how much white I have here. Ooh, that's plenty. Let's see, let's use a little bit of blue and white. Oops. Yeah, that's terrible. Okay. Sorry. Okay. We're going to use just a touch of blue and white. And I'm just going to use, this is a 1-inch filbert. And it's just the one I happen to grab. Any brush works great. Any colors work great. I just dipped it into a lot of the white and just a touch of the blue because that blue goes a long way. And I put it too close to white, but that's okay. So we're going to make it kind of light. And we're just going to kind of stick it on here. I'm going to make X's. Now, I've noticed as I watch other artists, sometimes I can keep up. And sometimes I just zoom ahead. So if I'm going too fast for you, just pause it and finish your background and catch up. I mean, everybody paints at a different speed. I used to paint super, super slow, and this would have just taken me an hour just to do the background. Now I'm just keep going back and forth to the white and the blue, and I really don't care if it's all the same color. I kind of want it to be, different shades of blue and a little bit of white in there. I don't want it to be just flat. So I just kind of make X's and I go in circles, whatever works for me. And I am going to kind of go on the outline of the bird because I don't want to lose it. Although with this blue, it's kind of hard to lose your lines. And this I just actually did a tracer and used some tracing paper. I never remember the name of it. Carbon paper, I think. And put that on here. So see how nice it turned out? I really like the carbon paper when you get it down here and trace it, especially for parties because it's easy for everyone to paint over. Now my paint does get seems to get a little dry on this canvas. It's just happens. If that happens to you, you can just dip it in water, just a touch of water. You don't want it too thin or the canvas is going to show through and the paint kind of starts coming off instead of going on. So let's see, I went a little lighter down here and that's fine too. See the different levels of blue so it doesn't look all just flat, like flat plain blue. And that way it gives a little bit of, personality. You just don't want it to be flat. At least I don't. Okay, so I did cover that a little bit and you can't see it real good. So the blue will, if the blue's dark enough, it will definitely cover those lines. I guess I need to have my picture. I don't have my picture handy, but I can find it. I'll find the lines, I'm sure. And I just want it to kind of look like what y'all's will, give you an idea of what it should look like when you get done. And see, it's a little more white there, a little more blue here, which is great because it looks like a cloudy winter day since we're going to be using snow. Now, if you don't want winter snow, you can change the snow into cherry blossoms and just use, like some maroon or red, and then pink and white, or maroon and pink and white, whatever color you have handy, and just put it on there in little blobs, and it would be a really cute cherry blossom tree. Okay, and I like doing the outside of my canvas. I like carrying it all the way around because I always make a mess. I am definitely not a clean painter. I know some people say that's not professional, but I've just never been a clean painter. I manage to get paint on everything. And when I'm painting, I get overzealous and the paint might be too thin and I go flying off the edge, and then all of a sudden I have stuff over here that's not quite painted in. So I just found that for me, to make it nicer and easier for my painting, I just go all the way to the outside edge. And if like the tree is here, it's an outside, I'll put the tree all the way over here, and this branch all the way over here, just to carry it over. And then if you hang it, it's pretty neat because people will see the side of it and realize it's not just white, if you don't frame it. And they tend to want to look at the painting as well because it's like, oh, what's that little brown thing on there? And they want to go look at it. It's pretty interesting. And not everybody, but I do. A lot of my friends do. They'll say, oh, what'd you paint today? They'll see a different color. Okay, I think that is probably, okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of water, and we're going to go up here with a little bit of blue and kind of fill in. You can see you can see the canvas. And I don't like that. A lot of people don't mind, but I just want my canvas covered. And yeah, I went over my snow there again, but that's okay. And I think let's make this side a little lighter. And what we'll do is we'll make the light source come from this side. And so when we highlight the bird, the back will be lit up from the light source that we have over here. Now again, I am just dipping this into a little bit of white, not much, and I'm just pushing it in there. And I don't want it to blend. So I'm just kind of touching it back and forth and all around in circles and just anywhere you want to put it. So I just barely touch it, and then I just put it on the canvas, and I'll just keep going a little bit, make this a little bit lighter on this side. That's too light. Add some blue. If you don't like it, you can always change it, which is the great thing. And I can't tell you how many I've painted over with gray paint or red paint and just started over. Okay, so as you see, I did not use much paint. I had way too much paint out there. But we will use the white again, just not the blue. Okay, so I rinsed out my brush and I tapped it out on a paper towel. And I'm gonna get a smaller brush. Let me try this. Let's see what this one is. I really go by look and feel. This is a number 3 round, and of course they all don't make the same numbers, but this is, I have no idea. It's some brush, it says China, so I probably got it in a kit, with some of the cheap brushes. It feels cheap, but you know what, it works. I don't care. Let's get out let's start with red. What do I do with my red? Okay, here's my red. And I'm just going to put just a little bit out. Red goes kind of a long way. Now, red is pretty iridescent. I mean, you can kind of see through it. So we know on a cardinal, the face is outlined in black. So I'm not even going to go there. I mean, right around his eye. And we know his beak will be kind of an orangish color. So I'm going to start up here. And I'm just going to take my time and use this little bitty brush. I'm using my little brushes because today I cannot paint and talk. Today I'm on an 8.5 by 11 inch canvas. And so of course the design is not very big. I do like the bigger ones because I like using the bigger brushes. To me, it's easier to have more paint, and it blends easier, and it's just different, and it's more of a life size, I guess. I'm just gonna kind of go on the outside edge here. Now you can see the lines through, which is fine. What I will do is go in here, and when we get going, and I'll just blend it in with maybe some maroon or dark red. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get him painted in here so you can see those lines. And I am just literally just using a little bit of paint at a time, going around those edges with the tip of the brush and going back and forth. And again, you can use any brush you want. If you are really confident with brushes, you could use a 1-inch flat or any kind of brush and get this done in 2 seconds flat, this red part. But I'm going to take my time and do it with a little brush, because otherwise I will get way outside my lines, and I don't want to do that and have to fix it. So I'll go ahead and do it here. And of course the wing will be the same color, and I just like to, I'm a sectional painter, so I really like to do things a section at a time. I'm going to leave this line here. We're going to make that a darker red anyway, and then this for sure will be a darker red here, and we'll put in some more as well. But I'll go ahead and fill this one in here with the red. This is a really nice red. I do like the Winsor & Newton paints. They do go pretty far. And they also have some red that is more opaque, which means you can't see through it quite as much. But you definitely have to look for that on the packaging. And yeah, the big spots I should have done a bigger brush, but you know what? I just don't feel like it today. So we're gonna do a small brush. And that's okay. If you're using a big brush, that means you are way ahead of me. Okay, this goes down there. I'm kind of getting in the snow, but that's okay. We'll go here, and now it's gonna be a darker red there, the line. And we're gonna go here. This will also have dark red, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the tail in here, or the wing, I'm sorry, in here. Sorry about the shadow. Okay, so there's the rest of that wing, and we'll just give it a little bit of a different shape. Just kind of looked a little pointy to me, and I didn't like that. So that's kind of nice too. You can change on the fly, and if you're doing a paint party, they can change it to whatever they want, right? And it makes everybody's very personal. And I have tried to copy artists, and I have tried to go step by step with the exact brushes, with the exact colors, and you know, it still doesn't look the same. But I'm not one of those painters that can paint the same thing twice the same either. I'm kind of funny that way. So I guess I wouldn't make a very good person that was trying to copy some paintings. A forger. Okay, let's get here. So we are getting there. This is a really pretty red. I really like this red. This is a really good Christmas red. I hope it comes through as the bright red that it is on there. It's just beautiful. Okay, and this doesn't have to be perfect at the bottom either. I mean, it's a tail, it's a wing, it's a bird, and truly birds are not all perfect. Okay, get that. Okay, so I've kind of got that taken care of. Now, I'm going to, let's use, can you still see that? Okay. I'm going to add, let's try a little, let me get out this burnt sienna. I think we're going to use that as the darker. Let's see what that looks like on here. You can always just give it a test. That's all right. Let's see. Let's go with the burnt sienna and see what happens here. We are just testing it. Now you can use maroon on the acrylic craft paints. I think it's called wine or berry wine. And it's a really pretty color for a cardinal. But we're just gonna go over this real quick and see what this looks like. And I'll probably, oops, made it too fat. That's all right. But I'll probably change it. And I'll show you how to do that as well. At least this gives us a nice little base. And we're gonna put this here to separate his wing out a little bit. And of course I end up wearing half of my paint, I think. If you get to a straight line that you're having a hard time with, like I can't always keep my hand stable when it's like this. If you put your pinky down on a flat surface and hold it in place just where you're, and then you just move the rest of your hand to paint, it keeps everything very stable. And this comes in really handy when you're painting thin lines, straight lines, curly cues, you know, things that you really need to flow. Just put that pinky down. It'll keep everything going in place. Now, you want to be careful because if you do like I do and put your pinky down on a wet paint, it does mess up your paint. Doesn't bother me, it gets on me, but it bothers me if I mess up my background. Okay. That's okay, but I think we're gonna change that to maroon, huh? Okay. Let's take a little bit of, let's use the dark brown. Just a little. And let's take the red we originally started with and oops, too much dark brown. Mix it with the dark brown. And we're gonna get that dark red, maroonish color. And let's see if that, oh yeah, much better. So it was fun trying, you know, with the burnt umber. I always like to try stuff. You never know what it's gonna look like if you don't try it, right? So a little bit more brown and a little bit more red. And I got it there, but that's okay. We'll just go over that with red again. So it's not that much different than the burnt umber, huh? Oops, used the wrong brown. And let's make it a little darker. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it does not look much different than the burnt umber, but it is. When it dries, it'll definitely look different. That's my brush. Okay, so now let's get out the black and just a touch of black. I mean, I'm just using so much paint here. So we're gonna take the black. You see on my brush how there's a little wet drop of water right there? That's gonna ruin my painting. So you wanna lay that wet brush down on a paper towel or it will drop right down on your painting and it is so hard to fix. It can be fixed, but it is hard. So we're gonna paint in his face. It's so tiny. So now, like I mentioned, you can do any colors you want. You can paint the highlights and shadows any color. You can use maroon or not use maroon. We'll use some white and black on his body as well. I'm letting that all kind of dry. And I'm just kind of painting in the lines here with the very tip of my brush. And I know that little line goes in front of the eye, but I kind of want to keep the eye clear. Okay. Now, let's see. We're still got the black out. Let's do... I'm just going to go over some of these lines I have on here. It really is just for kind of give it in personality. You don't want them to be totally flat, just like everything else, right? You want it to have dimension and highlights and shadows. And we can do we'll also do a realistic bird. I mean, this isn't, I like this bird. I think he's very pretty. And, But I know that he's not all that realistic, but you can sure make him that way. You can fluff his wings, you can highlight a little better and shadow, but I really like him like that. I will probably, I don't know, I might outline him in black too. Let's see what happens. I'm just kind of going over these lines that are already on there, and we might add a few more. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go down this side. Of the wing. Kind of keep it separated there. And I'm going to add a little black to the back of the tail. And I do believe, I think I'm going to use black here as an outline. Now you don't have to, because cardinals are definitely not outlined in black, but this side of him is definitely in the shadow. The other side will have the highlight. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and do his tail, at least on this side. Okay, now he is coming along. I'm going to take a little bit of this red and I'm going to go back over that spot that I accidentally put the brown. And I'm going to make a little maroon out of that, I think. And we might have to go over one more time. Red is very hard to cover anything because it's just so iridescent. On his feet, I'm going to make let's make them black. So we'll go ahead and make his little feet black here. And sorry, I swear, every time I start these videos, my allergies act up. Maybe it's something in this room. I'm in the back room of the house, so who knows? We have a lot of dogs and cats. Maybe I don't dust enough back here. That's more like the case. Okay, we're gonna go here. And here. Get his little feet in. Okay, so there's his feet. Let's go ahead and I'm going to start with, let's do the dark brown since it's already out. And I'm just going to put it on the little branch here. I got way too much paint on that, but it's okay. His branch can end right about there. My lines are gone, so we're gonna wing it. Okay. Haha, no pun intended. Bird wing it, haha, okay. Get this down here. Go right up to that. I want to touch it since it's probably still wet. Squeak by. Okay. Now you don't have to do this part next. You could do the brown before his feet. But if I get too much black into the brown, we're just going to go with it. Because we're going to add brown to the branch anyway. Black to the branch anyway. Okay, I'll get him up here like this. And I'm going to go, like I said, over the edge. And like so. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and get the other one. And we're going to bring it up over the edge like so. And then here. Oops, well, I had a little bump there on my tree, and that's okay too. It's a tree, it shouldn't be perfect. Now I kind of want to just really cover any canvas I missed over here with the blue. And we'll just make all that part of the tree. You can see my canvas marks I forgot. Okay. Go up here. And you'll still see the brush marks, but you don't have to really worry about that. We will take care of that. I know that browns and reds, the really clear colors are hard, or the colors that are transparent are difficult because you can see everything through them and you can see all your brush strokes. Okay, I think I changed the limb on here a little bit. If I did, I apologize, but my lines were gone. I painted the blue over my lines, the dark blue. So we're just kind of winging it, haha. And but there was enough canvas there, I figured that I was safe putting a tree limb there. Okay. Now on the beak, oh, you know, I forgot about the orange. So we're gonna use a little yellow as well. This is yellow ochre, deep ochre. It's just a craft paint, and I'm gonna mix it with the red that I have right here. And we're gonna make it orange. That's pretty red. And this red, the red color I have might not be one to make a good orange, but we're gonna see. Let's add a little more yellow. Let's see what that looks like on here. I don't think that's orange enough, so let's try yellow, and let's try some burnt sienna. See, that's not gonna be orange enough, I don't think. Let's add a little brown. While we're here, we're gonna test some colors because I don't wanna have to go find another color. And we're gonna see if we can mix colors that will be sufficient to what I like. So I added some of the dark brown and some of the yellow and some of the red, and it already had the red ochre in there. Let's see what happens. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. I don't necessarily want it bright orange. Doesn't have to be bright orange, just an orange, and I kind of like that. So you always learn by practicing and learn by trying, right? You just have to give it a shot sometimes, see if it works out. So can't decide if I want to outline the beak or not. I guess I should. Let's outline the beak and see what it looks like. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to take some, I'm rinsing off my brush and I'm wiping it off on the towel. Sorry, the same little tiny round 3, which actually goes flat real nice for me. So I'm going to get some white and I'm going to go ahead and maybe put a little highlight up here. And it can be either highlight or snow, however you want to do it. Do it thicker for snow if you want snow on his back. But since the sun is, the light's coming from up there, I kind of wanted his back to be a little brighter. Just for me and my mind. That's how I see it. And y'all might see it differently. Everybody sees things different. Okay. And that kind of highlights him there. Let's see, his tail is on the other side of the branch, so I'm going to add a little highlight there as well. Okay, like so. Yeah, I like that. Now let's see, let's take some of the yellow and let me see what happens if we make his eye yellow. There we go. And I'm just wiping off my brush now. I did not clean it. I just wiped it. And I'm going to dip into a little bit of the white. And let's give him a little here. I probably need a really smaller brush, but that's okay. Give him a little highlight under his eye. And what else? Let's see. We're going to dip into the white. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of blue, and we're going to make a light blue. Like a really light blue. Really, really light blue. Let's see. Maybe that'll work. I'm just kind of dragging it out a little further away from it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of go over where I'm going to put the snow. That way, the white is really going to pop on the blue. And I need to add a little red there. See, I can see the canvas now that I've missed, now that I've gone over everything. I'm kind of real bad about not always seeing that. But you can always do it again. Now I picked up a little brown, which is fine. I just, you know, it's going to make the white really pop in there. And let's put some here where the canvas can be seen. And right here. And maybe just a little here, and maybe here on the end, because this is sticking up in the sun, into the weather. Kind of sorted. Guess it depends on if it's in front or back or under that branch, doesn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to make it round again. I'm going to dip a little tiny itty bitty dot of white, and we're going to put it right here at the top of the eye. Okay. And then I'm going to get into the red. I didn't even clean my brush. I just want to kind of fill in where I'm missing. I can see the white dots of the canvas, and I don't want to see that because it really throws it off. People are wondering, what is filling that white space? Why is that white space there? Okay, and I'll just fill this in here. I know that there's some white on here, but I'm just going to fill in the empty the canvas that's showing through with red. The little divots. Okay. Yeah, we're good. So now everything's pretty much dry. So I'm going to go into the pure white just with my round brush like that, and I'm going to get it on the end of it, and we're just going to plop it in here. That's all I do. And then that's a professional word, plop. Would you plop that white right on there? Okay. That little snow right there. Doesn't want to, don't want to make it even. You want it all to be uneven and sticking out differently, as snow does, because it falls at different rates. Oops. Too much paint there. Didn't hurt anything. And some here. I'm just literally just poking it down on there with that round brush. And that's all I'm doing. Touch, touch, touch. Harder in places, softer in places, so it is kind of random. Some might stick up a little, which is fine by me because it'll give it a little real texture. It's up to you. And let's go down here and we'll get these guys. And last two here. My brush is fanning out. Okay, get back to round here. I pushed a little too hard, I think, and kind of a little bit there, a little bit here. My brush is a mess, but that's okay. All right, let me clean my brush. And it is as simple as that. Now you can embellish it as however you want to do it. If you want to add some more fur on top, some more fur, feathers on top, or if you want to, bring it up like this and make it stick up a little more, right? And I'm just using that little flat edge of that brush, and I'm just putting it up, and as I'm going across, I'm just lifting my brush up, see, off the canvas, and letting it make little lines. So now he's got his fuzzy little top knot there. And this I'm going to paint over a little red because I don't like having that sharp line there. So let's use a little. Now this is all just extra stuff that I want to do because I see it just doesn't look right to me. So I mixed a little bit of the burnt sienna and the red and white. And I'm going to go down this spot right here, kind of blend it into it so it just kind of isn't so dark. And I kind of like that because that's on that side of things. So let me go back to the regular red and we'll just kind of brighten this up just a little. And this is just red over that darker color I made. And I'll blend it out a little bit so it doesn't, I don't like the solid line there. Just put some red on there. Kind of, I'm just bringing my brush real gently into this area. Try not to cover my black lines, right? So we'll put that over there. And I think maybe even some in here. My brush is dirty, so it's got all those different colors on it right now. And I'm just gonna kind of blend this in a little bit here and maybe under here. And see, it's kind of got the brownish color, but you know, it adds a little texture to him. And I think that looks a lot better. Now he's looking more realistic to me. I think I kind of like the shadow here. I can't decide. But I think we'll go ahead. I think I'll go ahead and leave it because it kind of does look like that back wing, but I think the black needs to come all the way over. So let's do this. And maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong about the face, but I think the black goes all the way around with no breaks. And I'm going to fill in, you can see the white of the canvas in some spots here. And again, I'm putting my pinky down to steady my hand. And we'll do it this way and up like this. And of course, it doesn't have to be perfect. And clean that up just a little bit there. Okay. And there you have it. So he can be, like I said, any color, anything you'd like it to be. So I think he looks great. This is a great, easy winter decoration for your house. It's